I mean, I'm so glad you asked this question because I hate all of that.
And that's a mistake, actually, what I made early on in my time.
Definitely didn't come to me from the start because when I started, like I said, I started from my home kitchen, literally baking 17 cupcakes in 30 minutes and, you know, that one occasional client.
Don't just spend on what you're good at. Spend that first bit of capital to buy back your time.
I think the changes came with the growth because I was forced into them.
I also kind of stopped feeling like a dentist who liked jewelry and started feeling like a CEO of Kajal Naina. Today, I couldn't be more honored to welcome a woman who literally brings sweetness to this city. She's a master of economics turned master baker. She built an amazing brand in Mumbai for 15 years before moving to Hong Kong to do it all over again. So please welcome the founder of I Love Babycakes, Pallavi Sheth. Welcome, Pallavi.
Thank you so much, Kajal. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be doing the first show for this amazing series. I love the thought behind it and which is why our cake says empowered women, empower women. And I think it's going to be great. So congratulations and all the very best.
Thank you. And I love this cake. Just look at it. So to launch this series, Pallavi has brought this stunning cake. So let's officially open.
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Okay. So I think let's let this sit for a while here as our guest of honor while we dive into the business talk. And we'll enjoy this piece together in the end.
Yes, let's do that.
So Pallavi, for those who haven't had the pleasure of tasting your art yet, tell us about yourself and the world of I Love Babycakes.
I Love Babycakes is literally my baby because baking is something that I have loved ever since I was very young. So I baked my first cake when I was 9 years old, and my dad got me an oven when I did very well at school. But I went to boarding school when I was 10 years old. So every time I'd come back home, I would bake, I would experiment, I would try different recipes, I would build on what I had already built. So somewhere at the back of my head, I always wanted to open this bakery. But, you know, growing up, I never landed up going to culinary school or any of that. So I did the traditional things of like...
Wow, so you learned it yourself?
Yes,
Wow.
I am a self-taught baker. And I take great pride in that because it's been a journey. So I did the conventional things of studying economics and a master's in economics. I worked in marketing and a bunch of other things. And finally launched Babycakes out of my home kitchen in Mumbai. Actually, that was 2009.
Okay.
I did that actually when I was a young mother. I had 2 kids. My kids were 4 and 2.5 when I actually started. And I'm so happy and so proud that I've held it together because my kids are now in college. Well, they aren't kids anymore. So I have really grown through the process and grown through the journey. And I moved to Hong Kong actually in 2018 when my kitchen in Mumbai was still open. In fact, I ran my kitchen and my business in Mumbai while I was in Hong Kong. And 3 months into of moving into Hong Kong in 2019 is when I launched the same brand here.
Right.
And I have been running it since.
I remember when you first came in, I was also quite new and we were introduced by a common friend.
Yes, absolutely. I can't believe the years have flown.
I know, where did it go?
Yes. So I guess we've been busy building our respective brands and time has just flown along the way. So yeah, exactly. So and I started Babycakes in Hong Kong in 2019, been running it since. And I had a great team in Mumbai, which ran it through the COVID years and all of that. And I finally closed my Mumbai kitchen in 2024, but Hong Kong is still going strong. And in fact, I wanted to try and do new things. And now I have launched a new business here in Hong Kong. It's called 852 Much.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an experience management company. And then we do a bunch of events as well. So a whole lot of things going on.
Congratulations.
I've done my hands full.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thank you so much.
So you built a name in Mumbai and then you started over all again in Hong Kong because of the move, right?
Yes.
So what was that one specific moment here in Hong Kong when you realized, wow, it's going to be great, right? So, and how did you pivot your business model from Mumbai for Indian, market to a Hong Kong market?
I have to say it was yes. I had to change things around a bit. One of the basic premise of what I wanted to do is I wanted to keep my menu the same. So we really emphasize on a home style flavor and feel. So our products are very like they're named simply and they're meant to taste that way. So it's a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. It is a red velvet cake with cream cheese frosting. It's a home style chocolate cake. So there's no suspense there. So people get what they read. And I wanted to replicate entirely the same menu that I had in Mumbai here in Hong Kong, which is exactly what I did when I started out. But then I also realized that certain of the recipes had to be tweaked and changed a little bit, because one thing I definitely realized is people in Hong Kong do not eat things that are as sweet as the people in India. So there was a lot of playing around over that, but luckily enough, I could maintain the same menu and tweak the recipes. And they found a whole lot of, I found a whole lot of baby cakes fans here now in the last 7 years. So thank you for everybody who's watching. Coming back to your question on that one moment when I thought it would be great is, I think there is a service which I provide in Hong Kong, which I never did in India for the 15 years that we existed there, and that is baking classes. But when I came here, what I realized is that people in Hong Kong are really open to new experiences, and so I saw a market opportunity to sort of do that, and that's what I wanted to venture into. So I have to admit, when I was going to do my first class, I was a little nervous because I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen and all of that. Until this colleague of mine was like, you don't have to be, because people are not coming here to start their own patisserie or become a master chef or all of that. You just have to make sure they have fun and they bake something which
And they learn something.
They learn something new.
Exactly.
Have a good time, have a few good laughs and go back. And this colleague of mine, I don't really know if she had that statement that she made had such a big impact on me, but I remember it to this day, and it just gave me this whole new level of energy. So, oh yeah, this is so right. I don't have to feel that way.
I think this model that you started here in Hong Kong, from that what we can learn is that basically, because it was such a, physically you are there, the people who are learning the cake baking are all there, and it's a very interactive thing, right?
Yes,
and it's just not interacting with you, but interacting with other people, because I assume it's not just one person baking.
Yes, no,
right?
no,
It's a group.
Yeah,
So I think as humans, we really love that interaction. That's why we have societies and we have groups and we have organizations and stuff. So maybe you hit on that aspect of our character, and that works for you?
Yes, absolutely. That worked. And yeah, I love meeting people myself. So that was also gave me more passion and more energy and to take it further. So yeah.
That's very interesting. I really love what you said that. And I'm sure you've had a lot of wins since then, right, Pallavi? You are here.
Yeah, yes, I'm happy to be here. Happy with the journey so far, but let's see where it goes.
Yeah, but now what I want to know is what goes beyond the Instagram feed, beyond what we show to people. So with all the wins, I'm sure there must be at least 1 or 2 mistakes as well that you have made.
Absolutely.
And I would like to know, what was the number one mistake that you thought you made in your business journey? Maybe in Hong Kong or even in Mumbai, that you wish someone had warned you about?
Of course, mistakes we all make, and that's how we grow and that's how things happen. So one should not be afraid to make mistakes. So I was happy to take the risk coming to a new country, not knowing anybody at all. I literally knew one person and I knew of you. So yeah, so we go back a long time. Your product, of course, has to be good. That's a given. But marketing plays a huge role in any business, I think. So
true.
Yeah. So if you just wait for the word of mouth to do its job, I think it could take longer than you would have the patience for, or just a much longer time. So I think in any kind of business, it's just important to set aside a marketing budget, possibly even a PR budget to just get the word out there. Because once you have visibility, once somebody tries your product, or you have confidence in your product and you know it is good, one thing will lead to the other and it will grow. So I think that's one thing that when I started out my business in Mumbai in 2009, I didn't do that at all. So for me to reach from point A to point, let's say, G or whatever, took longer than it did in Hong Kong, because I learned from that mistake of mine in Mumbai. Well, I wouldn't really call it a mistake, because also I was at a different stage of my life. My
Yeah.
kids were very young. I had my
Yeah.
hands full. And also, it was the first time I was starting something of
Yeah,
my
we
own.
all have our journey that we go through, right?
Correct. So it's all about balance. It's all about learning. So that's something I didn't do. So though I did well in Mumbai, it took me a while to get there. And then when I started my brand in Hong Kong, I was very focused on the fact that I'm going to really focus on marketing. I'm going to have some sort of a PR and a media plan to get the word out there, so that more people come and try my product, and then it can reach the next level. So I think that would definitely be one piece of advice I'd give to people starting out.
Totally agree. Money is always such a conversation, right? And so with as with anyone, I'm sure people want to know, like, what are the first things that we should focus on. And marketing and PR for me also, I started without any idea. So I think that's something that all of our viewers should keep in
Yes.
mind too, if they're starting out into, entrepreneurship or getting their own things done. Talking about marketing and PR budget, I want to know, like, what do you think is a good percentage or a good amount that someone should think of setting aside when they start their business?
I mean, it could be different for everybody. Depends on the budgets, depends on what your investment levels and what kind of a strategy you're following. But I would say anything from 10 to 15% of your revenues would be a good. I mean, it is a big chunk, but I think the investment pays off, and you can take stock every year to see how the business is growing, and then decide your budget at the start of the year, and maybe take stock every quarter, or somewhere halfway along the year, to see how things are moving and where you want to go. So yeah, I would say something like
Yeah,
that.
but at the same time, marketing and PR budget, right? That's something that people really need to think through and plan and strategize, because
Yes.
otherwise it's like a sandpit. Nothing is
Yeah.
enough. So you really need, and especially as a young entrepreneur or a fresh entrepreneur, you really need to make sure because I have been at that point too, where I was like, okay, is this enough? Is this not enough? I put in some,
Yeah.
and then you keep adding and it goes nowhere. But there are cases where I've put in a little and it has given me great returns as
Yes.
well. And that, I think, also comes with experience a little bit, but those who plan ahead win.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to make, because it's not just about setting aside the money and just saying, I'm going to put this in marketing or
Yeah,
PR.
yeah.
It's also identifying the right
Where it
channels.
should
You have to
go,
know your
exactly,
product in terms of
exactly.
price point. What is your market? What is your target audience? What is the price point?
Yeah.
If this is your price point, what are
How
the
much are you-
places that you want to be seen at? Which are the events you want to be seen at? Does it make sense for you to be seen in a particular publication or a particular event, or is that not your target audience? So I think that analysis is very important for you to land up and be visible in the right spots.
Yeah, and to get the kind of results
Yeah.
that you want with your spend, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, true, very true.
Kajal, like there's an interesting question I have for you. There's something we share in common, that the fact that we both moved from our countries to Hong Kong, where we literally knew nobody.
Yeah.
And from if I understand correctly, you knew literally one family when you moved here. So having started at that point, did you think the journey was hard? And which was that one moment when you realized, oh my God, this is actually going to work, and I'm going to do something great with Kajal Naina as a brand?
You're right, Pallavi. So when I moved here to Hong Kong, there was just one family I knew. That was it. But I moved here with a lot of passion. I was just changing my profession from being a dentist back in Singapore to venturing out, creating my own brand, my company, setting it up here in Hong Kong. And we were talking about marketing and PR before. The world of marketing and PR was absolutely unknown to me. So I spent 2018 and 2019 setting up the business, setting up the grounds for it, let's say, just getting to know everything, right? I was just going out there, showing up wherever I could, taking part in events, fairs, trying to get word of mouth done. And I did start getting some people who loved my work, and by word of mouth, it started growing slowly, I should say. And on the side, I also built my website. So my husband, he was very encouraging. He's from IT. So he's like, no, you need to get your website up. I was like, who's going to buy jewelry, fine jewelry from a new jeweler on the website? And he was like, doesn't matter. Just get it out there and show your work.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, thinking that it would just be a showcase. You know, no one's going to buy fine jewelry from my website. That was what I thought. But then COVID struck. We all went through that time, right? And I remember the panic. I thought, I am new. I have no physical space, and now the world is closing. This is the end for my jewelry before I even started. That's what I thought. But luckily, I had spent the previous year pouring my time, my resources into building this strong website. It was good enough to sell. And so that's when the aha moment happened. It actually happened during the lockdown for me. So I was on my Instagram, on Facebook, online, going out there, showing myself no matter what. And then at a certain point, it started.
Wow.
It started, yeah. And I was sitting at home. I still remember that day. And suddenly the notification for an online order came through. And then another, and then another, and then another.
Wow.
So that's customers who weren't friends, who were not people that I knew, and people who had found me online and trusted me and my vision enough to buy jewelry online during a global crisis. So that's when I realized, oh my God, okay, KN isn't just a local hobby. It is a brand with digital legs. And it proved to me that if your foundation, your roots are solid and your digital presence is honest, the business can survive anything. And so that order from a stranger was the moment when I stopped thinking that, will I succeed or not? I also kind of stopped feeling like a dentist who liked jewelry and started feeling like a CEO of Kajal Naina.
Oh, amazing. I love the story that you were a dentist. I mean, from a dentist to a fashion designer, I think that's extremely inspiring. So I think that's really cool. And I think what you say is a very valid point that, I mean, sometimes things happen when you least expect them. So if you just keep going and doing your stuff and things move, like you didn't think that you are going to strike this eureka moment in the middle of COVID.
Right.
I think the takeaway from this is we shouldn't get disheartened because you don't know what will lead to what, and one thing leads to the other, and things you don't even expect happen. So
yeah, so we should just keep doing what we believe in, be honest, be true, and keep doing it. And I think the most important thing is to, know how to pivot, when to pivot, and be honest about it.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. Great story there. That's amazing. Yeah, so this is all very inspiring. This is great. But I have this question for you. Whenever I'm going into a tough negotiation or a tough situation, I believe my outfit is my armor. And like today, I'm feeling great because I'm wearing these gorgeous Tahitian pearls from Kajal Naina with these gorgeous earrings.
Yeah.
So I feel really confident.
I
feel
love
great.
how you've put together your whole look with the Tahitian pearls,
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think, so how I feel has a lot to do with, what I'm wearing, what I've put together has a lot to do with how I feel and how I put myself out to the world. So being a jewelry designer yourself, how does jewelry work into the founder confidence for you? How important is it and what role does it play?
I think it's very important for me as well as for a lot of us out there, whether you know it or you don't know it. Definitely how you look plays into your confidence and how it shows in you, right, in your daily life. And not necessarily just jewelry, also my dress or, my jewelry, my clothes or what I'm carrying, accessorizing it with. Everything is like an armor to ourselves. It should not define us, but at the same time, it should uplift us. So that's how I feel. And So when I head into a big meeting, or for example, today we're filming, I always like to wear a piece that has a bit of weight to it. And when I say weight, sometimes it might be the size of it. Sometimes it might not be the size, but it might be the feeling that goes into it, how it makes me feel. For example, today I have on this one, and this is the first episode, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to tie it up with my journey. So these are one of the very first pearls that I made for
Wow,
myself.
they're gorgeous.
So this
Really
was
pretty.
made way
Yeah.
back in 2017
Yeah.
when I was just getting into it.
Yes.
And these are Japanese Akoya pearls.
Lovely.
White and white gold.
Love
Very simple, but
Yeah.
this was made during my time in Singapore when before I even started my company.
Wow.
And I wanted to hold that with me as I start this new journey of our Women-Led Wednesdays,
Yeah.
empowering women. And this is empowering me. So
Wow.
definitely, yeah.
That's so beautiful, because sometimes it's the sentiment that a piece or an outfit brings that brings the energy that you want to bring to the table. So I think
Exactly.
that's a beautiful thought.
Exactly.
I love
Exactly.
that. I love that. And it looks great. It's beautiful. So we're both in
you.
pearls, in
both
Kajal
in
Naina pearls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very amazing. And my next question to you, actually, I want to ask you is that we both run high precision business, right? The aesthetics is so important, whether it's my jewelry or it's your cake. People eat it with their eyes first before literally eating it,
Yeah.
or in my case, wearing it. And sometimes, that perfection can be a thing which is good and sometimes it's bad. Sometimes we get stuck with perfection, right? So, what is your idea of that? And how do, as business owners, as someone in the creative field, right, how do you deal with, not letting perfection get you down or burn you out? Because sometimes it can even burn you out.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I love your question, because I'm very conscious of the fact that I do not want to let anything burn my passion for baby cakes down, because the whole reason why I started is because I love it. So if something burns it down, then the whole purpose is lost, you know?
Right.
So I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, or I don't allow myself to be, just for the very reason that you pointed it out. So if you would take a look at our cakes, or if you've tried our cakes and you've seen them on social media or wherever else, we don't focus on perfectionism, at least for the look of it. So because I'm a self-taught baker, I claim to be a self-taught baker, and I do not promise perfectionism when it comes to look.
But I'm sure it tastes wonderful. So that's okay.
What we do promise is that it's going to be a perfectly tasting cake.
What advice do you have for, creatives who are getting into business regarding this? Because that's a struggle with all creatives wanting the best. But sometimes, and we need to bring out our best, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. So your product or your service has to be your best and has to be good for you to survive in the markets nowadays, because whoever's doing anything professionally is doing a very good job of it. So the question of being substandard or mediocrity doesn't arise, because you have to be not perfect, but you have to be great. So I think as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's starting something, I don't think you should allow the pressure of perfectionism to bring you down. Like you said earlier, keep doing what you do and keep doing it every day. Show up, be persistent, and you'll get there, because people know a good product or a good service when they see it or experience it. So, and you don't have to hanker after perfection to get it right, because people who know the product or service will be there. You will get your audience, you will reach us. So I think you just need to show up and keep doing and keep believing in your product. I think that's very important.
Powerful words. Thank you very much. And on that note, I am going to tell our viewers, if you like what you're listening, if what you are hearing, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button right now and help us to bring more to you.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure she's going to have some great women entrepreneurs every Wednesday or every month, or it's going to be a great journey.
Thank you. So Pallavi, we both sell joy, right? Our products are very aesthetically pleasing, and it's always there when someone wants to celebrate joy. But there is also the heavy burden of doing all the unglamorous work behind it. And as a CEO, as a leader, as a founder, I'm sure every founder, every leader has to take care of all that. So, how do you manage the unglamorous part of, you know, balancing between all those back end accounting, I don't know, stock,
Inventory.
inventory, this, that. So, how do you manage all that?
I mean, I'm so glad you asked this question because I hate all of that. As many creative people will say, I say, like, you start your business because you love doing and creating. And the reason all I wanted to do is bake cakes. I didn't want to maintain the softwares and the Excel sheets and run the inventory. But we all have to do that as we grow, and it's extremely uncomfortable. So I think, of course, all of that has to be managed. And as you go along in your journey, you put systems in place, you hire the right people, you get the right systems.
Did it come to you immediately from the start, or was it something for you that you learned as you went
It
on?
definitely didn't come to me from the start, because when I started, like I said, I started from my home kitchen, literally baking 17 cupcakes in 30 minutes. And, you know, that one occasional client. And then, of course, the orders grew, and, you know, then you had to grow with it. So when things happen, you adjust, you move forward, you ideate, you do your research and try and fit different things. So I think that the changes came with the growth because I was forced into them.
Right.
Because obviously, if you're going to get those many orders every day and these things are going to happen, how are you going to manage and all of that?
Right.
So I think looking at those numbers at the end of the day and making sure you are on the right track or whatever
Right.
it is something that has to be done if you're running a business. So you just can't focus on only
Otherwise,
the
it's a
creative side.
hobby.
Exactly. Of course, all of that came along the way, and as the business grows and as the business grew, there was more of all of that, the parts we don't enjoy, you know. So I think I make a very conscious effort to make sure that I don't lose my love for why I started Baby Cakes in the first place. So I think I would say there are some things I do make a conscious effort to build into my day on literally a daily basis. One of the things I do is I make sure that I actually bake. Because, of course, as you
don't
grow,
want to
you have
lose touch of-
people
yes.
doing that.
Yes.
But also that's the part you love. So if you're not going to do what you love, then very easily the unglamorous parts take over. So
Did
then
you bake my cake, or did someone else?
Yes, I did.
Okay, great. At what point did you start getting more help, like hiring more people to do different things?
So like in India, I started, I worked out of my home kitchen from 2009 to 2013, actually, for 4 years, till I actually then set aside the money to set up a commercial kitchen and hire staff and all of that. And so it used to make me feel really good to call up my staff and say, okay, I need 600 cupcakes today. Because I was baking all those cupcakes myself earlier.
Yeah.
So in Hong Kong, I have a very flexible format where I work out of a co-shared kitchen space, which is a great,
Just nearby to us.
Actually, it's great advice for anybody who's looking to start a food business, because, as you know, real estate in Hong Kong is really expensive. So the rent can take up a huge chunk of your costs, which you can actually bring down by opting for a co-shared kitchen space. So the one I work out of is called Bite Unite. It's in Wan Chai. So that saves me a lot of very high fixed costs for a product which is, is not a very expensive product. So it's a volume game at the end of the day. So I try to save on costs over there, and then we take freelance staff to bake our products, and we keep that flexible depending on how the month or the week is looking. So there's a lot of playing around, stuff around that, and the F&B business can be very challenging.
Right.
So I think it's very important to keep the costs pretty low.
I have realized that as well, because in Hong Kong, otherwise, there's no end to the cost. Then how much do you sell?
Absolutely.
So that's a very important point that you brought out right now, I think. Yeah.
So my focus is really on the costs, and I try to keep that really low as I can, and I try to balance that, of course, with the demands and the orders that are there. And then we are also present on platforms like Kita and Food Panda. So then the menu for that is planned a little differently, where we keep the best-selling products ready and, to go, because the rider literally comes in 5-10 minutes.
Right. And does that work for you?
Yes, very much, very much. And it gives you great visibility, because it's a platform where a lot of people are getting familiar with your brand. And given that I am present in Wan Chai, which is a very central part of Hong Kong, it's got to a point where a lot of people know about our brand because we are present on these platforms. And of course, we don't do custom orders and all on those platforms, but nevertheless, it's helpful. So coming back to that, like, of course, I've digressed a little bit. So the first thing is, like, I'm hands-on with my craft. And I think the second thing is that for custom orders, I'm very clear that I want to have a conversation with the client myself. That's a part of the business that I find very hard to delegate to someone else, because I think it's very important to get the brief right, to create that right product and create that moment of joy when your client is actually cutting that cake. Because if I get that brief wrong, then I'm not going to deliver the right outcome, which could be a disaster. So that's the part of my business I've not handed over to anyone. So of course, if you want something from our regular menu, you can go to a Kita or a Food Panda or go onto our website, and you don't need to interact with me. But if it's a custom product, I make sure that I talk to the customer myself, so I know exactly what's in his or her mind.
I understand exactly what you mean, because in that aspect, it's very similar to what I'm doing as well.
Yes.
So we have our collections. You can go on the website and buy. You can come here and pick out any of our jewelry and take it home with you, which are all absolutely beautiful pieces with a lot of meaning to them. But we also have these services, which is bespoke, right? And that part is something that for picking up something from the website or from here, I guess you could even talk to one of my lovely salespeople, like my staff. We have very beautiful, lovely people around. And but for a bespoke order, again, that requires full attention, full my expertise, my passion, my everything. So that's when, which is non-negotiable, is that I have to be there, and I have to go through the brief, go through everything, make sure the customer likes. You create something that they like, and it's a back and forth process, right?
Yes,
so exactly.
And actually, that part works very well for me. So coming back to your point on ignoring the mundane stuff and keeping it still interesting, is the fact that I talk to different people every day, and I love people. I'm a people's person, so it's great energy and it's great. So that also keeps the business exciting when you deal with all your
so that basically
means,
for our viewers out there from this conversation, is that you should know how to delegate. Keep the things that interest you to yourself. Keep the things that can be done by, maybe you can have, it is important to have some kind of support around you, your company, if you're starting out. But you at the same time, even as you grow, I think never letting go of what actually got you started in the first place.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
That's
I think
really
what's close to your heart, you hold close to your heart, because otherwise the essence is lost. Okay, now you've been in business here, Kajal, for 8 years now, which is a great milestone. It's a long time to run a successful business, especially through the COVID years as well. So that's amazing. But I'm sure some of our viewers today would be interested to know that if they were to start a brand today, and let's think of a number like a relatively modest number, not something crazy. If they had $50,000 to launch a brand and start a business in Hong Kong today, how would you spend that? What would be your focus? Would it be marketing? Would it be product? Would it be legal? Would it be PR? I mean, I'm just very curious to know.
That's a very good question. It's funny how 8 years in the business can change your perspective, from day one to day. So looking back, I realized I spent a lot of my energy on things that came natural to me. So we talked about earlier PR and marketing, right? So PR and marketing, storytelling, I love sharing my work. So that was something with limited budget. Kind of, I could do it a little bit myself. Of course, not like a full-on thing, but for a little bit, I was okay. And I focused on that. And that also brought me certain amount of success, which I'm very happy for. But what I missed, and that's a mistake actually, what I made early on in my time, I think I did not spend enough time building that operational support. And today, if I had this budget, I would definitely put a large chunk of it. As a first spend, it would be specifically hiring an accountant. I thought, oh, I can do it myself. And, taking an assistant, even a virtual one at that, when you start off, those were things that I tried to pile up on myself as a entrepreneur starting out. We put on too many hats by ourselves.
Yeah.
But that again I think that was a mistake. So my advice that if you're a creative founder, and don't just spend on what you're good at. Spend that first bit of capital to buy back your time that can be well spent doing things that will give more returns to you. So
Yeah.
hire someone to handle the receipts, the filings, the organization, things that's
So can free up your mind.
Yeah,
to do
exactly,
creative
exactly.
work.
From day one, I think from day one, it's very important. I kept thinking, I'll make money and then I'll hire. I'll make money and then I'll hire. But it's not how it goes. So if it feels like boring expenses, it's actually an investment in your mental freedom to keep on creating, to have your time spent on things that you need to be spending on. It's your foundation. If your foundation is organized, so your brand can grow and with the full potential, and without you drowning in paper. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I would change right from the start. I learned it a little bit of a hard way, but all's well that ends well. And I hope the viewers who are listening to us, if that's you right now, you heard me.
Yeah, this is great advice, I think, because like you said, you have to free up your time to do things which you are great at, to take the brand to the next level. But I wouldn't be so harsh as to call it a mistake, because it's a journey. It's a journey. You
Yeah,
started, you're a dentist who's turned jeweler after all. So it's been great. You recognize these, small shortcomings at different stages and
Yeah.
taken the corrective action to do what you need to do. And this is why you are where you are today. So and I'm excited that the viewers will probably take some inspiration and some learnings take back from this show to implement
Yeah,
in
I
their
hope
own
so.
business.
That's the main thing, right?
That's
When
the
I
purpose.
started, I had so many questions, and I was like, should I put my money on this? Should I put my time on this? And you randomly do what you think you should do. But the purpose of this series is also so that, if anyone can take away something from here and it helps them. I'm just thinking of myself 8 years ago, and I hope it really helps whoever it is
I'm
who
sure.
needs that help. So, Pallavi, I want to ask you a question. Like you said, people can order from your ready-made order list, I guess, from Kita or other platforms. But if someone wants a special custom-made cake from you, that got me very excited. So, I want to ask you, maybe you can tell our viewers here how they can come to you and get a masterpiece baby cakes.
Like I said, for customer orders, you have to interact directly with me. So this is the way I like to take it forward. And you can WhatsApp us and set up a time to have a chat, share your ideas, share your thoughts. If you are very clear about what you want, you can share that as well. If you are not really sure of what you want, you can feel free to have a conversation, and we can think this through and create something wonderful together. And of course, we need some time for custom creations, at least like a minimum of 3 to 4 days, and the earlier the better. So that's the way I think things go. But but we'd also love for you to follow us on our Instagram. It's Baby Cakes by Pallavi. So you'll also see a lot of our custom work there to get some ideas and inspirations and the type of work that we do. Yeah.
Great. And how long does it take for the order to, so I guess because it's a process, right? And you said 3 to 4 days is exactly what? Like
if it's a custom cake, a minimum of 3 to 4 days in advance, and you to finalize your order.
Finalize. So which means you need to start contacting you a little ahead of that, right?
Yes.
So 2 weeks at least.
There are some people who order with us even like
Months
2,
ahead.
3, 4 months, especially wedding cakes and things like that. Of course, people plan. But what I'm trying to say, it shouldn't be less than 3 to 4 days, because some of these things need planning. They have, of course, and we have to plan our own deliverables for that day. And then some of that is fondant work, which needs to dry, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. But thank you so much for allowing me to share that, because I'd love to create some wonderful things for all our viewers out here.
Oh, I love your cake. I'm your customer as well. So I love to share whatever you are doing, this awesome work with all our viewers. Yeah.
Okay, coming back to your work now, which is amazing because I'm sitting here in this studio and it's surrounded by some fantastic jewelry and wearing some of it myself. So it all looks beautiful. And you must be feeling so proud that you've created this beautiful baby of yours, and all your creations are just sitting here. But if someone sees a piece that they love in this video, like these gorgeous Tahitian pearls that I'm wearing, how does it work? Do they call you up and set up a time, have a viewing, have a conversation? How do you take it forward?
Yeah, so like I said, we have our online platform as well as physical space here in Wanchai.
Yes.
So someone, if they want something simple from my collection, they can go online and they can just put in the order. We deliver free delivery in Hong Kong, anywhere and everywhere. And we have a lot of customers who do order online as well.
Yeah.
But if you want something special or you want to try it on before you buy it, then of course you're most welcome to come to our showroom here, and you can call us, make an appointment. Our numbers is out there in the internet everywhere. Our address is there, but of course we'll walk you through how to get here, and then you come here and you take it forwards from there. Yeah. Every woman's journey is different, which is why we don't just sell jewelry at KN. We help you to find a piece and that resonates with your specific story, whether it's a custom design or a piece from our collections. I invite any woman watching this to come into our showroom, sit with us, and find that symbol for your next chapter today. Pallavi, thank you very much for sharing your journey and your sweet wisdom with us today. Sweet wisdom.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No, I think
This has been a very nourishing conversation, and I'm so happy that we could do this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I think it was absolutely wonderful. I think what you're doing here, Kajal, is really, really inspiring, especially for me. I mean, I know as a woman entrepreneur who's moved into a new city, a new place, it takes a lot of ability to take risks. It takes a lot of guts to set up something from scratch. And I think this show that you have initiated would only be helpful and will provide many nuggets of wisdom to young, old, or whatever, any entrepreneur who wants to put their work out there. So congratulations once again.
Thank
and
you.
I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much. And I wish you the very best too with both your businesses.
Thank you so much. Time to eat some cake.
Yes. So here is to the dreamers, the doers, and every woman leading her life with heart and soul. Let's eat cake.
Empowered women, empower women. So cake it is.
If you've enjoyed our blend of jewelry, business, and soul, please support this series by subscribing and sharing this video with a friend who needs a boost today. You can find more daily inspiration on our Instagram and Facebook, so be sure to follow us there as well.